Hey, Star Wars fans, Miller here. So, Mandalorian Chapter 3, The Sin. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. In case it needs to be said, yes, there will be spoilers for Episode 3 and 1 and 2. So, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian at all, don't watch this video. Uh, yeah, where to start? So, he actually turned in Baby Yoda. I thought that was quite interesting. I thought that we were going to get the scene from the trailers, where he walks out of the hut and he blasts the stormtroopers at the door. I thought we were going to get that scene in this episode. Maybe it was cut. Maybe it comes in a later episode. Um, but I don't think anyone was fooled that he was going to go back for Baby Yoda. There was just, yeah, you can't give up Baby Yoda. I do want to say it's very amazing how they portray his emotions, like actually through the suit. Like most of the time, you can tell when someone's sad or happy by looking at their face. But with this, it's literally all body language. And I think that is incredible how they're capturing that. Like, you actually can tell what the Mandalorian is feeling when he gives up Baby Yoda. You can like feel the regret coming from him. And I think it's awesome how they're capturing that. This episode was definitely my favorite so far. And if you guys didn't know, the director of this episode is actually going to be doing the entire Obi-Wan series. So this is kind of a little hint of what we should expect from the Obi-Wan series, I feel. And after watching it, hey, I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty excited for the Obi-Wan series. Not that I wasn't excited before, it's just, now that we know what's in store for us director-wise, I think it'll be pretty good. It was interesting. I haven't seen anyone else talking about this, but when the Mandalorian goes down there to get his armor fixed with the Beskar that he gets from the mission, and him and the beefy boy get into a fight, they pull the knives out on each other. I haven't seen anyone else speculate this or discuss this, but I'm pretty positive those were vibro blades. It looked like in episode 2 it was just a knife that he pulls out, but when you look at the beefy boy's knife when he's holding it to the Mandalorian, it's actually vibrating. Now, I've only watched it once. I'll have to go back and watch it again. Maybe he was just shaking, maybe it was just scaring. But it definitely looked like a special effect. Like that's what they're trying to get at, is it's actually vibro blades, which I think would be awesome. I don't think we've seen those in Star Wars live action yet. So it'd be really cool if they came out and were like, yeah, that's vibro blades. That's what they're like in this universe, or in the live action. Uh, I think it was really cool. After he breaks out Baby Yoda, you get the shot of all the bounty hunters' fobs just lighting up. That's when you start to realize, hey, things are about to get serious. It's about to get real. The shootout in the little side street or whatever in the street, that was pretty well done. And I don't think it was to anybody's surprise that all the Mandalorians showed up. As soon as he started getting tracked, I was like, we're gonna get some Mandalorian action, like the full Mandalorian action. And speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and say it just in this video, just so that I can put my thoughts out there. I don't think now. I'm under the impression, and maybe somebody who watches this can comment down below and let me know. I'm under the impression that the Mandalorians are a race. Like they're a race of people from Mandalore. But I don't think our Mandalorian is actually a Mandalorian. In episode 1, he talks about being a foundling, which I did speak about in my review of episode 1. I referred to it as terminology that we don't know yet. But I'm starting to think that, he was just a boy that was saved and adopted the Mandalorian lifestyle. And this is also hinted at in episode 2 when he says, guns are a part of my religion. Like, I'm starting to think that he just adopted this lifestyle and that's like his religion. Uh, it's pretty simple. That might be what they're going for. I might not be the only person thinking this, but I was under the impression that he was like a Mandalorian from Mandalore, like if they are a race. I've heard some people say that it's not a race anymore, that it's like a lifestyle, which if that's the case, then, my theory goes right along with that. I will say the one thing that I didn't like about this episode would have to be the final, like as they're flying in a ship or whatever, and he looks over and you've got the Iron Man kind of shot, the beefy boy flying next to him. I didn't like that shot. Seemed a little out of place, a little cheesy. I'm sure it's just the Iron Man reference because Jon Favreau's like one of the producers of the show. But other than that, I thought the episode was great. It seems like every episode's going to have some sort of like catchy phrase like, I have spoken, or weapons are a part of my religion, or this is the way. And I think it's awesome too that we get to see how much of a family like system they have going. Like you see him and Beefy Boy get into it, but then immediately when a Mandalorian is in trouble, they're like, hey, we're going to drop everything to save you no matter what the cost is because this is the way. So I thought that was really, really awesome. I like how Warner's character, the guy that gives him the mission, he's like, hey, Beskar's harder to come by than Mandalorians, and then when he's down in the cave, they're like, hey, only one of us can be out at a time, which I wonder why that is. Like, is it because of like the war with the Empire that they had, that they only allow one Mandalorian out at one time? I don't know. Hopefully they touch upon that because I thought that was probably one of the more interesting sentences of the episode 3. Just this idea of like, hey, we're very secretive now. We only allow one person out at a time. But yeah, those are my thoughts, my review. I think it was a great episode, my favorite so far. For me, it probably goes 3, 2, 1. So yeah, tell me what you guys thought below, or you think below in the comment section. Do you have any theories about the Mandalorian? Like who saves the Mandalorian in the flashback? Is it Yoda? Like maybe it's actually Yoda himself, and that's why he has an attachment. I think he only has an attachment to Baby Yoda because it's like the same thing he went through. Like Baby Yoda's all by himself being hunted. The Mandalorian, when he was a little boy, was hunted after his parents were killed or whatever. So I think that's where the connection comes through. I think it's a Mandalorian that shows up and saves him. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are some of your theories? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like listening to me talk about Star Wars, or you want to talk more about Star Wars with someone, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I love Star Wars. I love talking about it. And I'd love to keep talking with you guys. So until next week, see ya.